Looks like Fulton County, Georgia's District Attorney Fani Willis may be removed from former President Trump's election fraud case after all. The Georgia Court of Appeals on Thursday gave the green light to hear Donald Trump's bid to disqualify her from the case. Controversy over Willis' affair with special counsel Nathan Wade, assigned to that case against Trump, landed both of them in a courtroom, but DA Willis managed to get out of that with basically a slap on the wrist by Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, ruling she could stay on the case if Wade removed himself, which he did. Trump and 8 of his co-defendants petitioned the appeals court to overturn McAfee's March ruling. And now the court has given Trump's appeal the green light, but no word yet on when that case will be heard.
Virginia Republican Congressman Ben Cline said Thursday that President Biden's executive privilege claim blocking access to the audio from special counsel Robert Hur's interview with him about classified documents could go to court.
We anticipate a committee vote and then potentially a House floor vote this week. Because we're so close to Friday, it may not happen this week, it may happen next week. Right. But at the end of the day, the House is going to express its view that Congress is a co-equal branch of government. We're entitled to the tapes. They can't pick and choose which transcript or which form of testimony they're going to provide the committee.
Biden invoked executive privilege Thursday to prevent the release of recordings of the interview with special counsel Robert Hur. Klein indicated the administration can't pick and choose which form of testimony they provide. Virginia Republicans said he believes eventually a court will side with the committee and release the tapes. The House Judiciary Committee voted 18-15 this week to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt for not complying with federal subpoenas. Right now, let's talk with the Convention of States Action President, Victory News contributor Mark Meckler. Welcome to Victory on a Friday.
Good to be with you.
Attorney General Merrick Garland commented on the House Judiciary Committee's request for the audio recordings of the Joe Biden interview. Here it is.
We have gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that the committees get responses to their legitimate requests. But this is not one.
Now, the courts have often ruled that executive privilege is limited in opposition to criminal investigations. The legal landscape is less defined with congressional subpoenas. So will the Republicans pursue the records in court? And why is the White House so desperate to keep us from hearing Biden's interview when we already have the transcript?
I think they will pursue it in court, and I think they have a pretty good case here. It's very hard for them to explain why this is privileged and the transcripts were not. I think that's a very difficult distinction to make. And the reason they're trying to hide them is transcripts are one thing, and we have her saying that he was too feeble-minded to be prosecuted. It's hard to imagine how bad he must actually sound on those tapes if they're trying to keep them from the American public.
That's a good point. Now, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee approved a law authorizing death penalty for child rapists, stating crimes against children are, quote, some of the most heinous that there are. The U.S. Supreme Court nullified Tennessee's similar law in 2008, deeming it unconstitutional. You think things will be different this time?
I do think, and I hope that things will be different this time. Look, the Supreme Court law and precedent against cruel and unusual punishment changed in modern history. Cruel and unusual is supposed to mean not punishment intended to create pain or torture or humiliation. The idea that a crime can be punished by death should never be considered cruel and unusual punishment. That's a legislative determination.
Now, we often joke about how dysfunctional the House of Representatives is, but the House Oversight Committee, well, it turned into chaos Thursday with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene when she took a personal shot at Jasmine Crockett, representative of Texas, for her policies and her fake eyelashes. Crockett offered up her return in an insult to Chairman James. Well, here it is.
If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
you just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at.
Comer's caught in the middle there. Representative Greene posted she was over the Democrats weaponizing the DOJ against conservatives and wanting to put Trump in jail the rest of his life. Mark, are the Republicans reaching the end of the rope where lawfare is concerned, and they're using it to interfere with the 2024 presidential campaign, or does this go deeper than that?
Like, I mean, for me, watching this, it's just an embarrassment, and we get kind of the government we deserve. I think the Republican here, Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, all of them were an embarrassment. This is not how you behave in the highest government seat in the land. It's just outrageous.
Now, you watched the governor of California a moment ago, but apparently Vice President Kamala Harris might run for California's governorship if Biden campaign tanks in November. If Newsom were to shoot for a national office, could you see Harris, could she win the top office in California?
I mean, look, I think a stray poodle could win the top office in California. We've seen this with Governor Newsom. He failed his way up into the governorship. He destroyed the city of San Francisco and then became governor. He's continuing to destroy California. They'll elect just about anybody or anything there in California now.
Standard poodle or miniature poodle? Never mind. Mayor
I like
Eric
standards better, but I think she's closer to a miniature.
Well, there you go. Mayor Eric Adams had some big news to share about New York City. I want you to hear this. We'll come right back.
For the first time in our city's history, we're measuring just how much of an impact our food choices have on our emissions. First time we're doing this.
So if we control hot dogs and hamburgers, will we be able to handle crime better in New York?
I think he said it's about their emissions. Definitely the kind of food you eat has an effect on emissions. I'm not sure what else to say about that.
With that, we got to go. Have you back in a moment, Mike.